Hi everyone, Quiveen here from the comfort of my kitchen. In today's video, we are going to take a look at a couple of comets, and we're going to start with a comet that was discovered much earlier this year. So this is comet C 2025 A6 Lemmon. So C 2025, this was a comet that was discovered in 2025. A6 means it was the sixth comet discovered in the first half of January. And Lemmon comes from Mount Lemmon Observatory, which is the observatory that discovered this comet. It's an observatory that looks for near-Earth objects, comets, asteroids, that kind of thing. And it discovered this comet way back at the start of the year, just as the comet was coming in towards the inner solar system. And as we move forward here, you can see that the comet is still getting brighter, and you might be able to see down here, still getting closer and closer to the sun. So even though this comet was discovered way back at the start of the year, it's just coming up to its closest approach to the Earth, which should happen on the 21st of October. So we can see there, that should be the lowest number we see for distance to the Earth. Yeah, we're seeing it here on the 20th, but still close enough, just coming up at the end of the month. And if we push forward into November, we will see it reach its closest position to the sun. So when the comet is at its closest position to the sun, it will be a little bit harder to see, but we can see from the magnitudes up here that we're not going to get the comet really visible to the naked eye. Even here at the lowest magnitude that we're able to get it, which is the brightest that we'll be able to see it, just here, just above the sun, it's certainly not visible to the naked eye in the city, but with a magnitude of 10, it's not going to be visible to the naked eye anywhere. And there is a good chance that it will pick up some amount of a tail as it comes into its closest position to the sun, but based on what we're seeing here in Stellarium, it doesn't look like it has a tail at the moment. So we can see it just passing under the handle of the plow or the Big Dipper. It should be visible with binoculars. So we'll go down here, to binoculars, and you should be able to see that it is slightly fuzzy. It's not quite as sharp or in an exact place as the stars. Moving through time second by second, it's not going to move drastically, but if we move through time a little bit faster, it should drift compared to the background stars, and we can see that they're happening just over the course of a night, because it is moving pretty quickly. Comets do move pretty fast, even though we're not going to see it over the course of just a minute or two. A couple of photographs in a row would show this comet moving differently to the background stars, and that's how these things get discovered. That's how we find out about these comets. So that's C 2025 A6 Lemmon. The C stands for comet. It would be P for a periodic comet, and we can see that it says periodic down here, but we haven't seen this comet go through multiple periods yet. So confirming that it is a periodic comet is a little bit tricky. Something might happen. It might blow up when it gets too close to the sun, although that isn't particularly likely. It's not getting particularly close to the sun as it passes by. But there are other designations, such as I for interstellar. So there was a new interstellar comet discovered, Comet CI Atlas. You might remember interstellar objects from a previous video where we talked about 1I Oumuamua, which is the comet the interstellar object that was discovered a few years ago. So 1I Oumuamua wasn't really considered to be a comet, because it didn't behave like one. It didn't produce the tail or the coma that you would expect from a comet. Comets are icy, watery bodies that have tails when they get close enough to the sun. 1I Oumuamua didn't produce that kind of tail, so it wasn't considered to be a comet, just an interstellar object. This interstellar object, because it is still an interstellar object, is considered to be a comet because it does seem to be producing a tail. And with these interstellar objects, we've only discovered 3 of them This one, the previously mentioned Oumuamua, and also 2I Borisov, which perhaps didn't get as much attention, but 2I Borisov was also an interstellar comet. So 2I Borisov was really the first interstellar comet discovered. We're not getting any dot here for 3I Atlas, but that's okay. It is considered to be a comet because it does also seem to be producing a tail. We can see that it's here at a much, much lower magnitude. It's even harder to see than Comet Lemmon. But we can see here its magnitude picks up as it gets closer to the sun. But unfortunately, at these very close positions to the sun, this perihelion, it's going to be very difficult to see from the Earth. So we can see it getting up to magnitude 13.97 there for a few days around its closest approach to the sun, which still isn't particularly close. So we'll bring it up into the sky and we'll get rid of the atmosphere, just in case that changes anything. But we can see there the comet. It is after becoming visible, so getting rid of the atmosphere and bringing it up during the day did actually help, which is nice. So we can see it there pretty much making its closest approach to the sun later this month, and then continuing out into the solar system, or through the solar system, which is really the important thing. This is an interstellar object, so based on its trajectory, it's just passing by. It's flying through the solar system, coming in one side, going out the other side, and really not part of our solar system at all. It's not gravitationally bound by our sun. So just about here, we're forward to December. This should be when it is at its closest to the Earth. Based on these numbers here, just over 1 AU away. It's still only magnitude 14, so very difficult to see, but that's how it will look when it's at its closest to the Earth. So it's not getting particularly close to the Earth. An interesting thing about 3I Atlas is that it did get particularly close to Mars. So if we take a look at all of these things from the Solar System Observer, which is one of the options offered by Stellarium, way down in the S's. Here we go. This brings us to the Solar System Observer. I accidentally clicked on something, so I'm no longer selecting the comet. Here we go. There's the comet. And of course, we'll have to take a look in towards the inner solar system here. So we can see here that the comet doesn't get particularly close to the Earth at all. We can see it there way out on the far side of the solar system, and then coming past and getting a little bit closer. If we zoom in a little bit, Mars should pop up because Comet 3I Atlas was visible briefly from Mars. The Trace Gas Orbiter and the Perseverance rover, we can kind of see here this is coming through the asteroid belt, so we can see a lot of the big asteroids like Vesta, Pallas and Juno there as this comet comes through. Mars doesn't seem to be showing up, but that could just be because of its brightness. We might have to zoom in a lot more, which would bring it out of the field of view. We've gone a bit too far into the future. There we go. That's a little bit better. So this comet is not getting anywhere close to the Earth, so it's certainly nothing to be worried about, and it is acting like a comet. It's producing a tail, it's doing everything we'd expect a comet to do, so it's even less likely to be anything strange. In fact, it's less of an unfamiliar object than 1I Oumuamua, which of course has already comfortably passed through the solar system quite a bit ago. So we can see there's quite a lot of comets here that Stellarium is able to keep track of, but we want to get back to the Earth. There we go. So that brings us back to a bright sunny day in mid-October, and this particular object not visible at all. So even though 3I Atlas is getting a lot of the media attention because it is an interstellar object, the comet that we're more likely to be able to see through something like binoculars, at least, if not with the naked eye, is Comet C2025 A6 Lemmon. So they are two of the big comets that are in the sky at the moment. This one, 3I Atlas, is going to be incredibly tough to see, but it is interesting to see an interstellar object. So if you have a big enough telescope, it's worth trying to take a look. Comet C 2025 Lemmon is just back in the direction of the Plough or the Big Dipper. It's going to be in around here somewhere. It doesn't seem to be getting automatically labeled, but we know that it's out in this direction, or it would be if we were in the right date. We've gone back in time here, unfortunately. So yeah, coming back into mid to late October, and there it is, just under the Plough, conveniently behind a tree there, of course, but that's occasionally the case. Sometimes these things will get blocked out by the ground or by things close to the ground, even if they're circumpolar, even if they're not going to actually go under the horizon. But I hope that you get a chance to see at least this comet, at least see 2025 A6 Lemmon, if not 3I Atlas. And of course, 3I Atlas is just a comet passing through our solar system, so nothing to be worried about, even if it is interstellar. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do like it. If you like this kind of content, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can also read this information written on my website, queeveenscontent.ie. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you back here next time.